This Week in Astrology video forecast. This is episode number 26 for the week of August 25th, 2014. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Benjamin Bernstein of astroshaman.com, coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina, and I'm an astrologer, shamanic healer, and awakening activator, and it's always my pleasure to bring you these weekly astrology video forecasts. For the week of August 25th, what's new? Well, a Virgo new moon is this week's headliner, closely followed by an Energizer Bunny Mars-Saturn conjunction and a mystical Sun-Neptune opposition. We also have 4 Venus aspects and 6 new aspect patterns. Old, we have a waning moon and another aspect pattern still in play, but I think better to get into our daily forecasts here in just a second. As always, I want to note that new and full moons are the only lunar events I report in this video. For events like votive course and sign changes and lunar conjunctions, you can get those from my This Week in Astrology audio podcast. On Monday, August 25th, we open with a pair of Mercury aspects. Mercury is both sextiling Mars and sextiling Saturn. In the first aspect, Mercury is at 17 Virgo, the sextile to Mars, where Mars is at 17 Scorpio. The second aspect, Mercury has moved closer to 18 Virgo, and Saturn is around 18 Scorpio. Analytical thinking is gifted with both drive and endurance under these aspects. Speaking and writing are similarly energized. Next up, a pair of Venus events. Venus is going to quincunx Chiron and trine Uranus. In both cases, Venus is around 16 Leo, Chiron 16 Pisces, Uranus 16 Aries. Now, some may experience wounding and adjustments in their relationships under these Venus aspects, but such catalysts, which commonly trigger pre-existing issues, they don't come up first there, can be used as opportunities to flush out the heavy energy that's ready to clear. I have a technical word for that. I call it hoocha, H-O-O-C-H-A. It's actually a word in the Quechua language from South America. It means waste energy, like the dirty water going down the drain. And of course, I have an app for that, a healing invocation you can use. And you can simply say the 7 words to your higher self: maximum healing that serves highest good, please. Then rest in passive breath awareness, not visualizing or making any effort. And if you do that, then the divine energy will come down and flush away those energies that don't serve you anymore. Inner wisdom to help you deal with all this is smoothly available through intuitive flashes, and with Venus in Leo, these aspects are ripe with creative inspiration and refinement. We have a really busy Monday. Next up, we have a new moon. That's happening at 10:13 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and it's at Virgo, 2 degrees 18 minutes. New beginnings in health, service, editing, and fine-tuning are supported. As far as aspects, with the moon opposing Neptune, a constant flow of creative inspiration is available for your new ventures. Spiritual union practices are also strongly supported. And I have an invocation that a lot of people find helpful. You can just say, maximum divine union that serves highest good, please, and then passively rest in the breath and watch what happens. If chaos or unpredictability manifests due to a Uranus sesquiquadrate to the moon, another aspect to this lunation, you can listen for intuitive flashes to guide you in setting your course. This new moon's Sabian symbol is 2 guardian angels bringing protection. Contemplating this can bring great comfort when you still perceive yourself as an isolated ego, but once you awaken to your true nature, pure divine awareness, you will realize that nothing could ever harm the unborn and undying consciousness that you really are. So, is that it for Monday? Another major aspect, Mars conjunct Saturn, both planets around 18 Scorpio. Now, unexploited consciously, this can feel like driving with the brakes on. You can either embrace the slowdown and focus on planning, or refocus this aspect to give you Energizer Bunny endurance. With Mars and Saturn in Scorpio, a structured approach toward personal transformation can prove rewarding. This aspect is slow, and it will be felt until September 8th. And that's all for Monday. On Tuesday, August 26th, we open with Venus square Saturn. Venus, 18 Leo, Saturn, 18 Scorpio. This is Leonine Venus's 3rd aspect of the week. She's got 4 in total. Now, don't be surprised if Saturn, the stern taskmaster, writes you a reality check on your relationships, creativity, or finances. If so, it's only to draw your attention to a structure that needs elimination or repair. Any restriction of energy in these areas caused by this aspect should ease up by the weekend as Mars pulls away from Saturn. On Wednesday, August 27th, we have Venus square Mars. Got a lot of challenging aspects this week. This is with Venus at 19 Leo, Mars at 19 Scorpio. Being mindfully sweet to your sweetie can help stave off some of the more difficult potentials of a square between Leonine Venus and Scorpionic Mars. Passionate lovemaking is a much more enjoyable use of this aspect than a heated argument. With both planets in fixed signs, take extra care to be as flexible as possible if a disagreement arises. This Venus-Mars square could also be used to fuel creative productivity. Give your muse free rein even if she takes you into taboo territory. Mars in Scorpio shies away from nothing. On Thursday, stable, flowing energy for healing, especially in your committed partnerships, is available with a grand trine that includes Juno, Vesta, Saturn, and Chiron. This aspect pattern also supports stepping more fully into your selfless service as a healer or mentor. With all 4 planets in water, the flow of intuition and emotion in these areas is significantly enhanced. This Juno-Vesta-Saturn-Chiron grand trine begins today, peaks on September 9th, and ends on September 17th. Next up, we're going to have a lot of aspect pattern graphics from here on in this video. A cradle aspect pattern involving the Sun, Juno, Ceres, and Pluto offers several intriguing possibilities. Are you in a committed relationship where you're playing second fiddle or in which your self-esteem is being diminished? This aspect pattern can support you in adopting an attitude of, I get as good as I give. The theme of release and return is also at play. Some relationships may take a breather, while connections that may have been on hiatus may resume. The Sun-Juno-Ceres-Pluto cradle starts today, peaks on September 5th, and ends on September 8th. On Friday, August 29th, a Sun-Neptune opposition occurs. The Sun is at 6 degrees Virgo and Neptune's at 6 Pisces. Divinely guided service can be energized by this aspect. It can also bring fresh inspiration in health matters and the improvement of systems and procedures. This aspect can also fuel the temptation to overdo drugs or alcohol, other escapist activities. It can encourage you to play the martyr or drift in the doldrums. If any of these negative urges arise, positively redirect the energy into divine connection or creative expression. Next up, a grand cross. A lot of aspect patterns, like I said. A theme that showed up in 2 different aspect patterns last week, harmonizing the assertive and receptive aspects of your feminine nature, is re-energized this week by a grand cross. This aspect pattern adds Uranus to the T-square that started on August 21st that contained Juno, Pallas, Athena, and Pluto. Now, with the decade-long Uranus-Pluto square in the game, revolutionary transformation in how you work with these feminine qualities is available. Can you follow your intuitive flashes in this area while transforming or releasing those behaviors that don't serve you? This grand cross with Juno, Pallas, Athena, Uranus, and Pluto peaks on September 7th and ends on September 14th. And that sets us up for a second aspect pattern that is also blossoming into something more. With the addition of the Sun, the grand trine that contains Juno, Vesta, Saturn, and Chiron that started yesterday becomes a kite. As the Sun forms the kite point, as you can see, it gives the other planets a focal point for their energies. As a reminder, the basic nature of the grand trine with Juno, Vesta, Saturn, and Chiron is stable, flowing energy for healing, especially in committed partnerships. It also supports stepping more fully into selfless service as a healer or mentor, and significantly enhances the flow of intuition and emotion. The Virgoan Sun adds a personal planet into the mix, an element not present in the original grand trine. This makes the effect more personal and pronounced, and reinforces the Grand Trine's themes of service and mentoring. This Sun-Juno-Vesta-Saturn-Chiron kite begins today, peaks on September 18, and ends on September 14. As we move into the weekend, still more aspect patterns. In a third case of aspect pattern augmentation, we have Vesta joining the cradle that started on Thursday. We now have 3 asteroid goddesses out of the 4 that I use in the same aspect pattern, which has grown into a Sun-Ceres-Juno-Vesta-Pluto cradle. Aren't you glad you have the graphics to help you make some visual sense of this? In addition to the meaning of the original cradle, we now see the possibility of self-esteem being boosted through service to a higher cause. And if you want to get really ambitious and use all of the planetary energies in the same fell swoop, you and your committed partner could positively transform and add value to your relationship by working together in selfless service. This amplified cradle with the Sun, Ceres, Juno, Vesta, and Pluto starts today. It peaks and ends on the same days as the original cradle, peaking on September 5th and ending on September 8th. Yep, for another one, we got a mystic rectangle starting today, incorporating the Sun, Juno, Chiron, and Pluto. As it happens, all of its planets are contained within the kite and cradle I've already discussed. So its interpretation will echo those, with healing in your domestic environment and committed relationships being energized. Mentoring or counseling in these areas is also supported. This mystic rectangle with the Sun, Juno, Chiron, and Pluto peaks on September 5th and ends on September 10th. And as we move to Sunday, one more aspect pattern. You can handle it, it's all right. This is a T-square that we've already talked about on last week's show with Juno, Pallas, Athena, and Pluto. It started on August 21st, it peaks today, it'll end on September 14th. So, does your feminine aspect show itself more like a meek housewife or a take-no-prisoners samurai? You can make any needed adjustments to this balance during this T-square between Yin Juno, Yang Pallas Athena, and Pluto. Looking ahead to next week's show for the week of September 1st, Pluto really jumps into the game, making 4 aspects. He's going to make hard or semi-hard aspects to Pallas Athena, Mars, and Jupiter, and is going to trine the Sun. Uranus is going to aspect 2 asteroid goddesses with hard aspects, Vesta and Juno. Chiron is going to aspect Vesta and Juno. Jupiter is going to sextile Pallas Athena. Are we seeing a pattern here? Slower planets aspecting asteroid goddesses. That's the big theme of the week. It'll be interesting to see how we interpret those. And there are some more routine aspects as well, a Sun-Chiron opposition, Venus entering Virgo, and Mercury entering Libra and quincunxing Neptune. And we get more graphics next week. We have 1 aspect pattern beginning and 4 peaking. So I sure hope you'll join me next week to learn the best use of these astrological aspects. I want to mention I will be featured on the Consider This web radio show this Monday, August 25th, tomorrow as I record this, from 6 to 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Expect a lively, freewheeling discussion ranging from astrology and shamanism to my Heal and Awaken invocations. You're welcome to listen or call in with a question at 805-292-0349. You can also listen via a live web stream. More information is on the homepage of my site, astroshaman.com. Scroll down a tiny bit to get to the What's New section for full information on that. And thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my Benjamin Bernstein YouTube channel to be notified when I post new videos. And if you like this video, please share it. This free video forecast is a partner project with iTunes' #1 astrology audio podcast, This Week in Astrology, which is also free. You can also get my weekly astrology forecast in writing. Just subscribe to my free email newsletter at astroshaman.com. Once you're there, you can also link to my Facebook page and Twitter feed where I post daily forecasts. My personal services include astrology, shamanic healing, and awakening activation. All are equally effective in person or long distance. Most of my clients never set foot in my office. My guarantee makes my services risk-free. If you don't feel that your experience was helpful, There's no charge. I also offer other great products and services, many of which are free. To learn more, visit astroshaman.com. Thanks again for watching. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light your